I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. I want to show you perhaps the most shameful thing yet that the MAGA Republicans have done in the House of Representatives since they took control. And that's saying a lot because we've shared with you a lot of shameful things here. Well, the MAGA Republicans voted 213 with 6 members voting present to censure Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff for investigating Donald Trump's connections to Russia in connection with the Trump campaign in 2016 and thereafter. In a vote of 213 with 6 voting present, so a total of 219 MAGA Republicans and 209 Democrats, the vote was taken to censure Adam Schiff. I want to show you what went down on the House floor when Kevin McCarthy, the weakest speaker of the House in history, announced that the vote had been completed and the MAGA Republicans voted to censure Adam Schiff. And Kevin McCarthy lost all control of the House floor after the censure vote. Play this clip.
On this vote, the yeas are 213 and the nays are 209. With 6 answering present, the resolution adopted. Without objection, the motion to consider is laid on the table. House will be in order. I'll wait. The House. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
As AOC stated, the reason McCarthy lost control, quote, because he's a deeply unserious leader who diminishes the House by indulging in stunts like this. Here is a clip of the Democrats cheering for Congressmember Adam Schiff as he presents himself. Please.
Will Representative Schiff present himself in the well?
Before the vote was taken, here is Democratic Congressmember Adam Schiff saying, to my Republican colleagues who introduced this resolution, I thank you because you flatter me with this falsehood.
To my Republican colleagues who introduced this resolution, I thank you. You honor me with your enmity. You flatter me with this falsehood. You who are the authors of a big lie about the last election must condemn the truth tellers, and I stand proudly before you. Your words tell me that I have been effective in the defense of our democracy, and I am grateful. And yet this false and defamatory resolution comes at a considerable cost to the country and to the Congress. At a moment when millions of people in our home state of California are unable to find a place to live or afford a place to live, Speaker McCarthy chooses to occupy the resources of Congress for 2 straight weeks on this hollow sop to the MAGA crowd. He offers nothing to those who are homeless or addicted to opioids or to millions of college students mired in debt, but this paltry distraction. Donald Trump is under indictment for actions that jeopardize our national security, and McCarthy would spend the nation's time on petty political payback, thinking he can censure or fine Trump's opposition into submission. But I will not yield, not 1 inch. The cost to the Speaker's delinquency is high, but the cost to Congress of this frivolous and yet dangerous resolution may be even higher, as it represents another serious abuse of power. Donald Trump has threatened that any of you that defy him and vote against this partisan resolution will be met by a primary challenge. And he calls for my imprisonment. If a transient majority can punish and attempt to silence members who hold a corrupt president to account, there is no telling what further corruption of office will follow. And I say this to Speaker McCarthy and others who wish to gratify Donald Trump with this act of subservience or bend to his demands. Try as you might to expel me from Congress or silence me with a $16 million fine, you will not succeed. You might as well make it $160 million. You will never deter me from doing my duty.
Here is Nancy Pelosi.
Speaker, I thank the gentleman for yielding and for his great presentation today. Today, we are on the floor of the House where the other side has turned this chamber, where slavery was abolished, where Medicare and Social Security and everything were instituted, they've turned it into a puppet show. A puppet show. And you know what? The puppeteer, Donald Trump, is shining a light on the strings. You look miserable. You look miserable. The only advantage to all of this is that instead of reversing what we did on the IRA to save the planet, or reversing what we did to reduce the cost of prescription drugs, you're wasting time. Adam Schiff is one of the greatest members of that.
Here is Democratic Congressmember Jim McGovern before the vote.
Speaker, Republicans care more about personal vendettas and sucking up to Trump than about doing what's right for the country. Adam Schiff has been an incredible member of Congress. He exposed Trump's lies and corruption, impeached him, and got a bipartisan conviction vote in the Senate. He's passed real and consequential laws that solve real problems and help real people. And what's the sponsor of this censure done? What's Congressman Luna's record? I want her constituents to know, in her congressional career, 5 out of the 6 legislative items she's ever introduced are about Adam Schiff. I mean, doesn't she have anything better to do? Like, I don't know, help her district? This is what's known as lunacy. And it's all about deflection, retaliation, and distraction from Trump's 37 felony charges. The people who came up with the big lie want to censure Adam Schiff for telling the obvious truth, all so they can defend a 3-time loser ex-president who's been indicted more times than he's been elected. What an embarrassing day for this institution. What an insult to the American people. I urge a no vote, and I stand proudly with Congressman Schiff.
I want to thank the chairman of the Rules Committee for those astute remarks, and I will note that dozens of members of our caucus have come to stand with Mr. Schiff today, while the sponsor of this resolution, Ms. Luna, appears to be completely isolated over on her side of the aisle.
Here is MAGA Republican Congressmember Marjorie Taylor Greene before the vote was taken.
He displayed a graphic of a text message which cut a sentence in half and eliminated the final 2 paragraphs of a detailed legal summary that were contained in the original text message. He did this to peddle more lies to the American people and perpetuate the fake narrative that January 6th was an insurrection, and it was not. And now Adam Schiff is running for Senate.
Gentlewoman yields to...
Thank you.
How much time?
1 minute.
1 more minute.
1 more minute. Gentlewoman's recognized.
Thank you. And now Adam Schiff is running for Senate in California. Now, California has a lot of things messed up, and California is not the model that the United States needs. As a matter of fact, their government policies are atrocious. So if California decides to send Adam Schiff to Senate, they will be sending a proven liar. And that's what he's aiming to do. Raise money off of being a liar and running for Senate.
Here is MAGA Republican Lauren Boebert before the vote was taken.
With good and decent intentions to vote for this resolution. If Adam Schiff has a shred of human decency left, he would resign from Congress in disgrace.
Here is Democratic Congressmember Dan Goldman saying to the MAGA Republican Party, "You're talking about accountability. Y'all are the party of George Santos."
One of my colleagues says, "We will hold members accountable." You are the party of George Santos. Who are you holding accountable? The guy is an alleged and acknowledged liar and indicted, and you protect him every day. Don't lecture us with your projection and your defense of Donald Trump. It's pathetic, and it's beneath you, and it's beneath this body, and I yield back.
Here is Democratic Congressmember Dan Goldman again saying, "You want to talk about collusion? Let's talk about it." Play the clip.
You want to talk about collusion? Let me ask my Republican colleagues. If a campaign manager for a campaign is giving internal information to a Russian intelligence agent, is that collusion? Because that was the once classified information that is now public and now constitutes collusion. And there are so many other issues.
Back to Democratic Congressmember Adam Schiff, who talks about no matter how many falsehoods you want to spew, let's remember what Liz Cheney said.
No matter how many false justifications or slanders you level against me, you but indict yourselves. As Liz Cheney said, there will come a day when Donald Trump is gone, but your dishonor will remain. This resolution attacks me for initiating an investigation into Trump campaign solicitation and acceptance of Russian help in the 2016 election, even though the investigation was first led not by me, but by a Republican chairman. It would hold that when you give internal campaign polling data and your polling data to a Russian intelligence operative, while Russian intelligence is helping your campaign, as Trump's campaign chairman did, that you must not call that collusion, though that is its proper name, as the country well knows. It would fine me for the costs of the critically important Mueller investigation into Trump's misconduct, even though the special counsel was appointed by Trump's own attorney general. It would reprimand me over a flawed FISA application as if I were its author or I was the director of the FBI, and over flaws only discovered years later and by the Inspector General, not Mr. Durham. In short, it would accuse me of omnipotence, the leader of some vast deep state conspiracy, and of course, it is nonsense.
Democratic Congressmember Adam Schiff telling the MAGA Republicans that you are unwilling to do your constitutional duty.
My colleagues, if there is cause for censure in this House, and there is, it should be directed at those in this body who sought to overturn a free and fair election. The question, my Republican colleagues, is not why am I the subject of this false resolution for doing my constitutional duty, but why are you not? Why are you not standing beside me, the subject of a similar rebuke for speaking the truth? Why did you not stand up to Donald Trump? Why did you not reject his immorality? Why did you not condemn his dishonesty? Why did you not speak out when his horde attacked this Capitol, or now when he treats the nation's secrets with such carelessness, lawlessness, and disdain? Why did you hide from efforts to hold him accountable? Why were you silent, afraid, unwilling to do your ethical, constitutional duty? Why did you cower? Why did you cower? And why do you still? Will it be said of you that you lack the courage to stand up to the most immoral, unlawful, and unethical president in history, but consoled yourselves by attacking those who did? Today, I wear this partisan vote as a badge of honor, knowing that I have lived my oath, knowing that I have done my duty to hold a dangerous and out-of-control president accountable, and knowing that I would do so again in a heartbeat if the circumstances should ever require it.
Adam Schiff again saying, here is what the real gravamen of the offenses that you are attacking me for.
But here is the real gravamen of my offense. I led the first impeachment of Donald Trump for one of the most egregious presidential abuses of power in our history. And I led a trial which resulted in the first bipartisan vote to remove a president in history. And I would do so again. I warned that if Trump was not held accountable, he would go on to try to cheat in even worse ways in the next election, and he did, inciting a violent attack on this very Capitol. And after that, I participated in some of the most important hearings in congressional history, hearings that exposed Donald Trump's incitement of a dangerous insurrection to prevent the peaceful transfer of power.
Here is Democratic Congressmember Jamie Raskin.
Driving out anyone who dares to think for himself or herself. But don't take my word for it. Just read Friday's statement by the twice impeached inciter of insurrection, sexual abuser, defamer of women, and indicted pilferer of national security secrets, war plans, and top secret classified documents himself. On Friday, Trump posted this order to his followers and this unveiled threat to anyone who would dare to defy his control over the GOP. Quote, any Republican voting against Adam Schiff's censure or worse should immediately be primaried, he wrote. The Luna resolution is a weapon of mass distraction from Trump's indictment by a Florida grand jury on 37 federal charges relating to obstruction and unlawful retention of defense information for storing dozens of classified, secret, and top secret documents at his Florida resort, in his bathroom, his bedroom, and beyond, and then refusing repeatedly for more than a year to return any of these official documents to the archives and the FBI. It's amazing to me that they have to change the subject from one of Donald Trump's current offenses against America to one of his older offenses, welcoming Russian interference in the 2016 presidential campaign.
And there you have it, folks. That's what went down in the House of Representatives. Truly, truly shameful. A very dark day in the House of Representatives. The MAGA Republicans doing absolutely nothing for the American people, but ridiculous stunts like this. And as former Speaker of the House, who actually did things for the American people, Democratic Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi stated, y'all are just puppets. The puppeteer is Donald Trump, and you all are collectively disgracing this body each and every day, trying to do the work of Donald Trump. Disgusting, disgusting. I'm Ben Meiselas from the MeidasTouch Network. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 1.5 million subscribers thanks to your support. Check us out at patreon.com/MeidasTouch, and wherever you get audio podcasts, subscribe to the MeidasTouch podcast. Have an excellent day.
Love this video? Then you'll love the MeidasTouch podcast. Listen as my brothers and I break down the latest news and chat with top political leaders on the fastest growing pro-democracy podcast in the world. New episodes drop every Tuesday and Friday. Add the MeidasTouch podcast right now wherever you listen to your podcasts.